Hi, this is Joan, and this is the story of someone in the Bible, or part of his story. Someone in the Bible who I basically don't really understand, but I just wanted to share one little chapter with you about him. And I want to say from the very beginning that this verse explains why African Americans, basically African American women, get upset when they see a African American man with a woman of any other race. So, let me read, excuse me, let me read that for you first. Okay, and this, as you can see, is Judges 14, verse 3. Then his father and his mother said unto him, Is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, or among all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? And Samson said unto his father, Get her for me, for she pleases me well. Well, the reason why I wanted to read that is because I had read somewhere where a black man or some black guy was really asking, well, why do you all get so upset when you see a black man with some other kind of woman? This is not a new thing, is what I'm trying to show. This has been ongoing. A lot of places in the Bible, the Heavenly Father said, hey, stick with your own people. Stop marrying outside of your race, you know? So I thought very quickly I could answer that question because basically when you marry outside your race, what you're saying is there is nobody in this race at all that I like. Not one. I don't care what the height is, what the shape is. None of y'all are as good as what I see somewhere else. Now, I don't think anybody would not find that insulting. Now, I think it is less insulting when a woman goes with a man of another race because generally men do the choosing. So a woman waits to be chosen, and she happened to be chosen by someone of another race and accepted it. But a man actually goes out there and decides, hey, this is what I want, this is what I'm trying to get. So, like I said, this would be very, very short. And just so people won't say, oh, she, like I said the other guy did in the last video, didn't read you the whole thing. I will read the whole chapter. And it's not that long, so bear with me. And Samson went down to Timnath and saw a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. And he came up and told his father and his mother and said, I have seen a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore go get her for me to wife. Then his father and his mother said unto him, Is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, or among all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? And Samson said to his father, Get her for me, for she pleases me well. But his father and his mother knew not that it was of the Lord that he sought an occasion against the Philistines, for at that time the Philistines had dominion over Israel. Then Samson, okay, now before you brothers who, are very well pleased with women other than, the children of your own race, Samson was a Nazarite. That's why he didn't cut his hair. He also didn't drink, and he wasn't supposed to. He didn't do a whole lot of other things. That, okay, if you want to compare yourself to him as far as, well, I had to go get this white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever kind of woman it was because, like, hey, like I said here, let me see. Because the Lord sought an occasion against these other people. That's why I had to do it. Okay, well, I kind of think probably not. I'm not saying maybe he did, but generally, when black men go out with white women, it is not because they plan on doing anything to any other race, not just white women, any other race of people. They aren't doing this to help the black race. They truly are not. What they are doing basically is abandoning the black race. And I really feel that as black women, if someone has abandoned you, you should abandon them right back. That is, why buy their albums? Why go see their movies? Why support them in any way are they supporting you? I mean, I remember when Michael Jackson passed and everybody was like, oh man, that's so horrible. It was like a general malaise went over the whole nation. And I remember my supervisor came and everybody was saying how wonderful he was. And she said, basically, screw him. Did any of that money, we spent our money buying his albums when he was with the Jackson 5, when he was just a little boy. We supported him all this time. Is any of that money coming back to us? So he said, screw me. I'm saying, screw him right back. Now, at the time, I thought, oh, that sounds a little harsh, but now I see her point. When our men are given money, they do not put it back into the community. This is a slap to all of our faces. This hurts black women, black children, just black everything. But anyway, let me continue. Then Samson went down, and his father and his mother to Timnath, and came to the vineyards of Timnath, and behold, a young lion roared against him. And the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and he rent him as he would have rent a kid. And he had nothing in his hand, but he told not his father or his mother what he had done. And he went down and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well. And after a time he returned to take her, and he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion, and behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion. And he took thereof in his hands, and went on eating, and came to his father and mother, and he gave them, and they did eat. But he told not them that he had taken the honey out of the carcass of the lion. So his father went down unto the woman, and Samson made them a sorry. So his father went down unto the woman, and Samson made there a feast, for so used the young men to do. And it came to pass, when they saw him, that they brought 30 companions to be with him. And Samson said unto them, I will now put forth a riddle unto you. If ye can certainly declare it me within the 7 days of the feast, and find it out, then I will give you 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. But if ye cannot declare it me, then shall ye give me 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. And they said unto him, Put forth thy riddle, that we may hear it. And he said unto them, Out of the eater came forth meat, and out of the strong came forth sweetness, and they could not in 3 days expound the riddle. Now let me stop here. How would they be able to expound the riddle? He hadn't told them what had happened to him. So Samson to me is a puzzle. I mean, I guess, he's telling riddles, but I don't know. I don't quite understand. It sounds to me like he's being kind of unfair here. But let me continue. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they said unto Samson's wife, Entice thy husband that he may declare unto us the riddle, lest we burn thee and thy father's house with fire. Have ye called us to take that we have? Is it not so? Have ye called us to take that we have? Is it not so? So basically they're saying, hey, you get in there since he likes you and you find out what this riddle is, what the answer is, because we don't want to give up our clothes to this man. So if you don't do it, we're going to burn you and your father. Okay. 16. And Samson's wife wept before him and said, Thou dost but hate me, and lovest me not. Thou hast put forth a riddle unto the children of my people. Now notice, she has not adopted his people. She's saying children of my people. She's already shown you what side she's on. And has not told it me. And he said unto her, Behold, I have not told it my father nor my mother, and shall I tell it thee? And she wept before him the 7 days, while the feast lasted. And it came to pass on the 7th day that he told her, because she lay sore upon him, and she told the riddle to the children of her people. Now here again it's telling you, she is of a separate people, and she is loyal. Well, she's loyal because she fears for her life possibly, but still she is loyal to her people. And the men of the city said unto him on the 7th day before the sun went down, What is sweeter than honey, and what is stronger than a lion? And he said unto them, If ye had not plowed with my heifer, you had not found out my riddle. So that's what he thinks of women. He says my heifer. But anyway, continue. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he went down to Ascalon, and slew 30 men of them, and took their spoil, and gave change of garments unto them which expounded the riddle. And his anger was kindled, and went up to his father's house. But Samson's wife was given to his companion, whom had used as his friend. Okay, so he lost his wife, and he lost his girlfriend. He lost his friend. It used to be an old joke where this guy said, "I lost my what is it? My wife ran off with my best friend, and I miss him so much." I thought that was funny. Well, anyway, that's a very old joke. But in any case, like I said, to me, this totally answered the question as to why black women in particular get really upset saying black men with women of any other race, because it is basically a slap in the face. It's like saying, hey, it's 50 million of you, but not one of you is as good as this one woman. And especially if the woman doesn't look all that great, because we know, as one guy titled his whole video, he has high standards for women. Okay, again, I feel like you putting yourself above God. You know, God has, I can see if you said, I want the woman I'm with to meet God's standards, but even then you need to say, hey, I myself am going to make sure I meet God's standards before I start trying to make other people do it. But in any case, I think that answers the question as to why. And plus, they already know the answer to this. I remember going to some free concert somebody gave in the park in Chicago many moons ago. And it was all black people except for this one guy showed up with this white woman wearing a dashiki. And I thought, why would you do that? I mean, we all black here. I mean, if you want her, can you take her home, or do you have to come to a free concert for poor black people and just rub our nose in it into how much you think we are not good enough? And, that is basically what it looks like. But the thing about Samson is, I admittedly don't quite understand this man. I mean, I think that maybe it's possible that where it says, like I said in Genesis, sometimes I think they get the words Lord when they translate them. Sometimes Lord maybe doesn't mean the Heavenly Father. I mean, I'm not trying to tell anybody the wrong thing, and I admittedly say I don't know, but I don't see how the Spirit of the Lord. Let me see even before that. But his father and mother knew that it was of the Lord. Lord is kind of ambiguous. I mean, some places it actually means someone who is like a jailer or something. And it says that he sought an occasion against the Philistines, for at that time the Philistines had dominion over Israel. So another thing you have to look at Samson as is that he is disloyal to his own people. I'll give him that. And he also is extremely ambitious. That's one thing I think about, ambitious for this world, this material world. And that's something I do think that men who marry outside of their race, especially people who are oppressing their people, they're ambitious for this material world. They aren't looking at, okay, this particular woman will not make, if I marry a black woman or a woman of my own race, she will not make it easier for me to navigate into the other world, the larger or the more prosperous society. But if I go get one of them, well, yeah, that's almost like giving me like a pass card or something. It'll help me. So I do think also Samson was ambitious. And, he kept his hair, or he tried to, so he tried to keep the vow. But you also have to remember he came from the tribe of Dan. And Dan is the tribe that was not even mentioned again in Revelations when it talks about all the tribes who are still there at the end. Dan kind of married in with the other races, as it's given you this story here. Maybe the point of this story is to tell you that that is what happens when they marry in, when they just are determined to marry in. Because this is not the story of Samson and Delilah. This is the story of Samson with his first wife, or almost wife. So, like I said, Samson is interesting. The fact that he came from the tribe of Dan is interesting because Dan that whole tribe basically whited themselves out. They left. They are, as far as I can see, in Revelations when it's mentioning the 12 tribes that the 144,000 are going to come from, Dan is gone. And somewhere it said that when they went to war, Dan didn't even get out of the ships. So Dan may have become, um, like I said, I think that Dan went to Europe. I think that Dan was like the bad boy of the zodiac, not the actual, not zodiac of the Bible, of the tribes, not the actual man Dan, but his descendants. So, this is just something I wanted to share with you because I do want to do a series on the people of the Bible, and I will admit to you the ones I don't get. Like, to me, Samson is kind of like, why are you doing that? You're a Nazarite. You're supposed to, and plus you're a judge. I don't understand why you're doing this. Also, you seem to me to be kind of unfair. Why would you tell these people to get a riddle that they could not possibly know? I don't know. That's strange to me. If you have any ideals or if you know what was going on, I don't think any of us totally knows, but if you have any concepts or theories, I'm happy to hear. So, you guys have a great day.